Children were happy, adults were filled with high spirits, society was content. But then, on October 17, 2008, Alexander Leung and Eric Walforce launched SoundCloud to the public, a platform originally intended for musicians to share recordings, store recordings, collaborate, and discuss, but quickly transformed into a streaming service where independent musicians can distribute their music. Sounds innocent enough. This innocent platform, however, would cause one of hip-hop's darkest ages. Strange face tattoos, names like Lil Zen, quarter vending machine grills, Bart Simpson for some reason drinking lean. The SoundCloud era. What is the SoundCloud era? The SoundCloud era was an era that took place from circa 2014 to 2019. Initial underground songs posted by independent rappers on SoundCloud started blowing up. One of the first being the 2014 song Don't by Bryson Tiller, a trap and R&B song. With no record label, this regular dude that worked at Papa John's Pizza managed to make a song that would eventually end up on Billboard Hot 100, which is unusual, especially at that time. With that being said, despite coming from SoundCloud, I wouldn't classify Bryson Tiller as a SoundCloud rapper. SoundCloud was more of a pipeline into the industry for him, like you've seen with other artists that use social media platforms as a pipeline into the industry. So, why bring this up? Because it kind of shows at what stage of the music industry timeline we're in. We're at the end of the physical media and mixtape era and transitioning into the streaming service era where one song posted online could possibly reach heights only major record labels could reach not that long ago. So how did we end up on Bart Simpson drinking lean? For that, I need you to join me on this subplot, because I can't do it alone. Let me take you away from the tip of the iceberg and take you to the underground hip-hop scene. Primarily the South Florida underground hip-hop scene. Florida was the spawn point for some of these, let's call them experimental rappers. Think of Triple X Tentacion, Lil Pump, wifisfuneral. Give their distorted bass-filled trap songs a listen and you'll understand.
Lil Pump, jugging, jugging, sense of baby. Young nigga, just been waiting.
Clearly, they weren't attempting to meet mainstream expectations, and why would they? Florida wasn't home to as many major record labels as cities like Los Angeles. In this side of hip-hop, the underground was cool. Most of these rappers were either fully independent or signed to smaller record labels and relied on platforms like SoundCloud and their social media to grow an audience and manage their careers. And those would also be the same things that would garner them virality. Their strange looks, lingo, and unusual music got people's attention and caused their music to spread online. This circles us back to the main plot. SoundCloud. This was slightly different than the Bryson Tiller case where a singular artist used the platform as a pipeline into the industry, because the success of these South Florida rappers introduced a lot of people to this unexplored side of hip-hop. It caused more eyes to be drawn to that underground SoundCloud scene, making it not so underground anymore, and naturally spread that South Florida influence. You hear this and your first thought is, wow, that's cool! Independent rappers defying the industry norms and reaching insane heights. There are bound to emerge so many more cool creative rappers. And it was fun for a while. Some at the time interesting, fresh sounding songs and artists came from that SoundCloud era. Think of Lil Uzi and his Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World mixtape, Post Malone and his hit White Iverson, Lil Yachty and his hit songs, Amine and his hit Caroline, Playboi Carti, Suicide Boys, Lil Peep, Denzel Curry. The music appealed to mostly young people because it wasn't super technical or even really about anything. They were just fun songs. That's their appeal. They may not be for everybody, but I feel like it had a place in the industry at the time. If you look at the mainstream 2014 and 2015 rap albums, it's a lot of West Coast jazz rap and conscious hip-hop. The list could use some more color and personality, to put it simply, but it didn't take long for the fun to end. The Dark Age. In around mid-2016 to mid-2017, this era had reached its peak, and a lot of people were quick to hop on this wave. With SoundCloud being available to everyone, and with the SoundCloud era sound being not super technical, scratch that, stupid to put it bluntly, the bar to entry was non-existent. Pretty much nothing was required. Anybody could become one of these SoundCloud rappers. People with no musical experience posted their first song on a Wednesday and their careers would get launched harder than that one old dude that got flipped into the air by a bison. And with people, I mean someone like Icy Narco, who's a exact copy of Lil Pump. Kid Trunks, who sounds like another variation of Triple X Tentacion and Ski Mask the Slump God. 6ix9ine, who screams you into a reverse brain blast. Lil Zen, who decided to call himself Lil Zen. I don't have to be Anthony Fantano to tell you that the music is not good. It's a lot of the times underproduced, loud, brain-numbing, repetitive, visionless music, and almost none have aged well. This music also birthed the term mumble rap, and with that made our planet just a little worse. And pages like World Star Hip Hop and Lyrical Lemonade that kept squeezing out more of these rappers like every week weren't helping. I'm not trying to criticize. What I think doesn't even really matter. It's that at a certain point the music wasn't the main subject. It was the rapper. The one that looked and did the craziest stuff was the one that would win the streams. It kind of became an exaggerated cartoonish idea of hip-hop. It's almost mocking trap culture, glorifying substance abuse, the designer clothing, the style of rapping, the behavior, Bart Simpson drinking lean. And the problem isn't the drawing attention to yourself. Ultimately, that's what these SoundCloud rappers were built on. It's the drawing attention to yourself and having nothing of substance to deliver. That makes you a gimmick rapper. In the SoundCloud scene, they actually had a term for this: cloud rapper. A rapper that prioritizes online attention over musical skill. At its peak, SoundCloud had a gimmick rapper infestation, and that's when it was time to close down shop. This is what caused the plummet. Let's be real, with what the music was, it was only a matter of time before this era died. It had already reached heights it shouldn't have, and at this point overstayed its welcome. It was like the planet Goku and Frieza fought on. Whoever couldn't find a way out of it was going down with it. And these gimmick rappers made sure to speed that plummeting process up by 10x speed.
We were debating how many times per year a man can drop in a study room in a dumb costume with irrelevant news.
Now I'm curious, where are some of these rappers now? Play Good Ambition by the Utopians. Lil Pump, struggling to get 1 million streams on Spotify but is on Instagram bragging about the success of his old songs.
Gucci Gang, 1.2 billion fucking views.
Also indulging in the world of meme coins. He's slowly turning into the next Soulja Boy. Meadow X, Kid Trunks, Kid Boo, Smoke Perp, 6ix9ine, Wi-Fi Funeral, Famous Dex, and Lil Zen get a fraction of the streams they used to get. Sad Frosty, IT Narco, and Ugly God seem to have quit music entirely. How these rappers will get so big so fast till this day impresses me. But what impresses me even more is how fast they would go from getting all these streams and selling out decent sized venues to selling less tickets than your local high school band. And I'll stop here, because once again, not here to criticize or shit on anyone. Just want to give an idea of what the consequences are. Remembrance. It started off as something cool. Some people would even call this a golden age of hip-hop. Those first Post Malone hits, those old Lil Pump songs, those first Lil Uzi hit songs produced by Molly Raw. But by 2018, a lot of the rappers that made that SoundCloud era special had broken into the mainstream and signed to major record labels to start a serious music career. These rappers, they weren't on SoundCloud anymore. That underground SoundCloud culture became a shell of its past self. The lingo, the clothing, the sound, it all got old quick. The gimmick rappers started slowly dying out. Fans that made Bart Simpson wear designer clothing and drink lean got sent back to Mordor, and by the start of the next decade, the SoundCloud era had become a fossil. In retrospect, it's I guess just a short, awkward phase hip-hop went through while transitioning into the streaming era. I'm not sure if it left a lasting impact, but it did definitely leave a mark on trap music and SoundCloud's reputation. Whether it's a good or bad mark depends on who you ask.
Moth.